Today we are having AMA with paxo.finance, and today I'm here with the guest Pranjal. He is one of the co-founder of paxo.finance. So welcome, Pranjal.
Thank you so much. Thanks, John. Excited to be here.
Awesome, great. So what is paxo.finance? A decentralized investment loan protocol, an instant and permissionless under-collateralized DeFi lending protocol. So to know more about this, Pranjali is here, and let's get to know more about in this AMA. So let's start the event. I'd like to introduce and the co-founder, Pranjal. He's here. So how are you doing today? And can you please give us an intro?
Thank you so much. Really excited to be part of this AMA discussion. In fact, this is one of the early discussions we are doing. I'm hearing some echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope this is better. Yeah. So this is in fact one of the early discussions we are doing with some of the external community. My name is Pranjal. I'm one of the co-founders of Paxo. So I've been a tech entrepreneur for almost a decade now. Built, executed two different companies over the last couple of years. I've been into SaaS. I've been into Web3 as an investor. We also were operating a small fund. That's when we realized there is a gap. So there was a time when we wanted to experiment with under-collateralized loans, and we realized that most of the loan protocols, including Aave, Compound, I, and all these are over-collateralized loans. These are typically pawn shops where you put in your $100 worth of crypto, and then you get loan worth 60 or $70, right? But what if my end goal of raising that amount or taking that loan is to further invest in a crypto? It's highly inefficient. So we wanted something where we put in $20, just like home loan, right, or a car loan, where we put in $20 and then the $80 we borrow from the protocol, and for the combined $100, we can invest in any crypto vouchers. That's where we found the gap, and we realized that, hey, this is a problem we should experiment with, and then we started working on this protocol.
Great. So what is the goal of Paxo and how does it work?
Right. So we started this entire protocol with just one mindset, and that was to create an ecosystem which is like as easy as typically Compound or Aave or other over collateralized loan, but at the same time, it's highly efficient for investment. So under collateralized, just like home loan or car loan in traditional finance ecosystem, but it should be as efficient or as easy as Aave or Compound, trustless, permissionless. So we are creating an ecosystem where users will be able to take loans with smaller equity, like 5 times of their contribution in the overall loan, and still it is permissionless. We are not using any identity or any credit scoring ecosystem. So the idea is to create an ecosystem where we have a trustless, permissionless protocol, and that is under collateralized loan.
It's really great. Many users are waiting for this kind of platform and this kind of thing, actually. So how is it differ from other similar protocols?
So most of the loan protocols, and there are plenty of them, right? Starting from Aave, or if you look at multiple blockchains, every blockchain will have one or two lending protocols with more than $1 billion in their TVL. So the one fundamental difference is most of the loan protocols today are over collateralized, right? So you put in your assets worth $100, and then you get loan worth $60 or $70. And based on the market position, if price goes down, it goes for liquidation. So that's the typical scenario in most of the existing over collateralized protocol. And these protocols are really good, right? It's solving a large problem, and people are able to use it for various purposes. But if your end goal is to take a loan for further investment in crypto, it's not efficient, right? Because you're blocking assets worth $100, and then still you are getting just $60 or $70, right? Why not something like a model where you put in $100 and you can take loan of let's say $500, right? So that's what we are doing. If your end goal is to invest in crypto, then Paxo will be 5 times more efficient than any other over collateralized loan protocol, just because the way it has been designed, you can borrow up to 5x, 7x also in certain cases of your contribution. Like if today, if in traditional finance, if you have to buy a home, we don't put collateral worth 150%, right? We put 20%, and 80% we take loan, and then that purchased asset becomes the collateral. Same methodology we are implementing in fact, and that's what makes us a different protocol compared to other loan ecosystem.
So can you please say more about Paxo token and which roles does it play in the Paxo protocol? So what are the benefits of holding Paxo token for long-term users?
So paxo is the native token of the overall protocol. The idea is to have an ecosystem where the entire governance and some of the commercial incentives also is governed by the token, right? So that means if you are taking loan, whatever interest you have to pay, you can pay in form, using the paxo token. If you, let's say, eventually, if we will have, pools where paxo will be one of the pairs that can be traded with, and that can be used to take, let's say, 5x, 7x of loan value for other tokens as well. Also, all the decisions towards what all the interest rates, right, or even listing new tokens in our investment loan side, or creating multiple, the lending pool side, all those are governed by the governance, and that will be through the paxo token. So the idea is to create an ecosystem or a framework, governance framework, which decides overall functioning of this entire protocol, what to list, what type of interest margin, what type of charges should be levied at every stage, all the integrations, including staking, farming, and all secondary outcomes, that will be governed by this, and Paxo will be the native token for it. So what we believe is it's going to be a long-term play, and we are looking for partners who are in this space for long-term. It's not something which you just buy and get out in a couple of months and expect a different type of scenario. Rather, it makes sense to be part of this journey when we reach a larger TVS. The overall value will be much more different there.
Amazing, great. So how do you ensure the safety of lenders' funds? And do you have a refund system for lenders in security issues?
So as any DeFi founder, of course, we need to be not just concerned about security, but we also need to be paranoid about it. Coming from information security in my previous job and my previous work experience, of course, we have that gene, right? But having said that, we are working with some of the best agencies in the market. Already, protocol is tested by, audited by one of the agencies, and now right now we are in middle of our second audit. So security is something that's the foundation of whatever we do. It's not just for us; it's for any DeFi protocol where a large value is being logged. And we are working with multiple stakeholders, including third-party audit agencies, some of the best in the world, other security consultants, to make sure that the protocol passes certain benchmarks, and we come out with a very clean and robust mindset towards security. It's like it has to be in the gene, right? You cannot. Security is not something you do externally. It's just that when you plan, when you design the architecture, when you code, when you test, everything has that element of security, and we are aligned from day zero on that.
That's great. So currently, Paxo is in what phase? And can you also say about your upcoming plans about IDO and how the whitelist process works?
So protocol, the first version is already ready. We are live on Polygon testnet. In fact, we have seen more than 3,000 users using our protocol over the last couple of days. We also have some plans to announce our incentivized testnet. We are in the final phases of figuring out the overall model for it. The idea is to make sure that before we go live with the production, again, that is linked with the security mindset. It needs to be tested enough. It needs to be given and made open to community before we start, putting into mainnet. We believe that before we go live on the mainnet, this incentivized testnet program should be completed. The second audit should be clear. And apart from that, we also have plans to run a bug bounty program. So once these 3 steps are done, from development side, we are ready. You can go ahead, test the protocol on Polygon testnet. And once we are ready with these 3 steps, we'll go live on the mainnet. Based on the market scenario, I think I will not be able to comment on our date for IDO, but we are really close. The community is really excited. We have backing from some of the best people in the ecosystem and industry, and we are really excited to launch this. It's just that it's matter of getting few things aligned, and then once we are ready, we'll go ahead and announce a date for IDO.
Yeah. So what plans do you have for the future, and what can we expect from Paxo in the future?
So it's a long journey. What we have built and whatever you see on testnet is just the first phase. We believe that the under-collateralized as a mechanism is yet to see a larger adoption in the market, right? So far we are going, we are taking baby steps, and we have just completed development and testing and testnet deployment of the first phase. With time, we have a large product roadmap where apart from figuring out, the structures around having multi-pool structure, where maybe one pool, which is, let's say, meant for BTC, Ethereum, and a couple of more relatively less volatile coins, will enjoy a different type of interest rate compared to slightly more volatile tokens. So all this architecture, of course, will be the second one. We also believe that the use cases in metaverse and NFT ecosystem, if you want to, let's say, buy a NFT and you just want to pay a fraction of it, right? Those use cases, theoretically, if you ask me, I strongly believe that that can be enabled within the same framework. It's just that requires a slightly different implementation. So in coming months, we are exploring opportunities to figure out a way to enable under-collateralized loans for NFTs as well. Just that it requires slightly different approach than what we do with fungible tokens. But apart from multi-pool architecture, we are also looking at NFTs, enabling the entire use case for NFTs and gaming ecosystem. And we have a roadmap already defined for more than 1 year now.
That's amazing. Apart from lending and borrowing, Paxo also has plans in NFTs and metaverse. So I see your team is well diverse all over the world, and we know well-known advisors also in your team of your project. It's great. And when exactly Paxo had started?
So most of the team members know each other for quite some time. The time-tested relationship we have with the core team and development team. Some of advisors we have onboarded are also known to us much before we started working on Paxo. So the core team, advisors, and core development team, core marketing team, we know each other for, I think, the other co-founders and other people in the core team. I know them for more than 8-10 years now. So, and we have been experimenting on multiple fronts, right? Multiple ideas. Some of us were part of a fund also. One of the development lead was also associated with us in one of our other investments. So we go long back that way, and we have crossed and seen many phases in business and in other avenues before we started working on this. Advisors are also people who have discussed, evaluated, and contributed on many fronts before formally agreeing to be part of our advisory board. And again, that's where we find some common belief. Everyone believes that under-collateralized loans will see, brighter light someday. Of course, the way we have seen success of Aave Compound and other loan protocols back a couple of years back, we believe that next thing in DeFi will be under-collateralized, and we want to be on forefront of it. So whenever that phase comes, we just want to be the flag bearer of this entire mindset.
Very strong team with great experience and great advisors you have. So thanks for the great introduction. Now let's move on to the next part. We have several questions which were selected from Twitter. So let's move on. Are you ready for this, Pranjal?
Absolutely.
Yes, sure. So the first question is from Francis. He asked, the security issues in the blockchain industry keeps increasing. What measures do you have in a place to secure the platform and user assets from hacks or exploits?
Excellent question. In fact, a part of this we have already covered in our security mindset. So I believe industry is in a very nascent phase. We are still seeing some early success or early failure. So, and since most of the protocols are open source, there are smarter people who are constantly trying to figure out ways to circumvent some of the implemented frameworks. It's always about having the mindset or security first mindset, right? Especially in case of DeFi, where the stake is much higher, right? It's not just about a smaller amount, but when you are asking or requesting people to use the protocol and lock a larger value, security has to be the foundation of entire tech architecture and development, right? It's not something external. It's not activity, or it's not something you do once in a month or once in a week. No, this needs to be probably 60% of your thought process, right? Even if you do, let's say, one small enhancement, you need to probably think about 10 other aspects or 10 other ways it affects the security. So that has to be the core of it, right? Even when you're planning multiple releases, probably the development will take a smaller time, but the security vetting, third party audit, making sure that it's time tested enough, that is essential before we go live. On that front, we also have a part of our, the lending, the development part of our lending of the smart contract that is taken from Compound. It's already been tested. It's already been implemented over a period of time. It has been forked multiple times. So we believe that whatever is time tested, we should use it, right? We don't need to reinvent something which is already vetted and which is already well established in the ecosystem from security point of view. And then whatever we build on top of it, with that, we need to be extremely careful. Of course, the security remains the heart of overall development framework. And then we need to make sure that we are working with the best of the consultants, best of the agencies for audit, for bug bounty. We are making sure that we are involving the community in testing it out. And we should release it in production. We should release it on mainnet only when we have those positive recommendations from everyone.
Thank you for answering. So we have second question from Smail People NFT. He asks, what benefits will you offer to the people who want to invest in your project for long run rather than the short run? So what kind of effort do you have to undertake to keep long-term investors interested?
So I think the biggest thrill or biggest incentive we can offer is allowing external people to be part of something really exciting, which is going to change the entire DeFi ecosystem. Especially, we believe that DeFi 2.0 will attract millions of users who have, let's say, smaller holding in their wallet. So forget about the commercial outcome, forget about the gains. Of course, that remains one part of it. But what we want is people who are associating with Paxo should be willing to participate in the growth journey, which has just started, right? And I believe that over next few quarters, over next year or 2 years time, we'll see a different type of use cases and a different scale altogether. It's the fun and thrill of being part of something which is going to change the way entire DeFi will be defined in future. And I invite all the long-term people to be part of it. Be with us, contribute, be part of the DAO, be part of the ecosystem, be part of the community. Let's build this, a larger ecosystem together. That's and that's the biggest motivation we also have.
Thank you for clear details. And let's move on to the third question from Eknisi. So he asks, what kind of experience does Paxo promise for cryptocurrency lenders? Will users get a fixed income or a variable income from their lending transactions on your platform?
So ideally, from an investor side, it makes sense to have commitment of a flat interest rate that gives certainty. But we believe that the right way to build a protocol, especially maybe in the early days, couple of quarters, we can still promise some fixed returns and some incentives in form of our Paxo token, because we have kept a large pool of Paxo tokens for lenders as well. So that means if you're providing liquidity in the protocol, apart from the interest you will earn, you'll also earn that. Right? Second, we are also coming up with our staking program, which will be announced along with the IDO, or maybe just a couple of days here and there before or after the IDO. And that will offer again a different type of APY. I don't want to commit anything, but it's going to be lucrative enough for everyone to seriously consider being part of the lending. Right?
Thank you for your answer. And we have fourth question from Yuvan Thu. And can you share your fundraising situation and how your private and public offering tokens are distributed? And what plans for IDGO and what should we prepare if we want to participate?
So we closed our seed round. I think that was sometime in the month of March. We raised around $1 million. After that, we have opened our private round. We have made significant progress in that as well. We have raised more than $2 million now overall, including the seed and private. The IDO, we have given allocation of almost 2% for the public sale. We have identified a couple of launch pads and partners. We are working with them to figure out the details. The date is yet to be announced, but it will be open for public, and we'll have multiple launch pads, not just one. So we'll make sure that we are reaching out to all different part of the world and making sure that we have community participation with the idea.
Amazing. Thank you for detailed information. And fifth question comes from Board Bull. Staking is the new trend. What staking options are available for Paxo token? Are there any incentives for staking? What are the various ways to earn Paxo token? And are there any limits to amount Paxo I earn?
Yeah, definitely staking is one of the core areas where we are investing a lot of time, and not just staking will be available on our core platform, but within fact, so once we launch the token, once we go live with the public sale. But some of our other launchpad partners are also offering their staking program with a very high yield, and definitely it's going to be one of the key the key outcomes for some of the IDO participants and some of our early investors. We believe that staking will allow us to reach a different different scale altogether, especially with the partnerships we are figuring out, with the kind of APY we are exploring. I don't see any need to put a cap on what you can earn through staking or through any secondary income using Paxo. Right now, I don't think that's something on the plate, but yeah, staking will be one of the key areas once we announce the IDO, once we go live with the our public sales program. We'll be sharing more details. It's something we are actively working on, not just for us, but also for our launchpad partners.
Thank you again. Now we have finished our Twitter segment. So let's move on to the next YouTube live segment, which 5 questions will be selected, and our users can post 3 each. So please users can post live questions on YouTube.
Okay, it's difficult to choose 5 out of the entire set, but I'll still pick some of them and will answer them, right? Not that some other questions are not relevant, it's just that given the time constraint we have, we'll just pick 5. The first question is, what is your greatest achievement ever about your project? So I strongly believe the greatest achievement, and this question is from, okay, I'll mention I'm not able to see the name of the person who has posted this. Yeah, but if I have to answer this, I'll say the greatest achievement is yet to come. We are just in the early days of our development. But having said that, I believe passing the first audit was a milestone we were really excited about. And having a team which is committed, which can see a lot of opportunities within the protocol we are building, the commitment of everyone, including our advisors, partners, investors, that's something we are cherishing today. We are in a different phase when we compared to when we started. It's just that we see a lot of opportunities and the best time is yet to come.
Thank you. Can you please choose second question?
Second question is, what partnerships do you have currently and what do you hope to achieve with this partnership? So we have been fortunate to have right set of partners from day zero, be it alignment and grant from Polygon. They were one of the early believer in the overall protocol we were building, or aligning with some of the early investors, Bitcoin Holding, even ZebPay, a couple of other blockchains who are closely working with us. Our Oracle providers like Chainlink and a couple of other APIs we are integrating. We are thankful for early belief in us, and now we have at least come one stage ahead, and we are really excited to build more partnerships. These are some of the early partners, and this has helped us reach a stage where we are ready for our first version launch. We believe that partnership will be one of the key areas, and we'll be adding more partners, be it on the token listing side, or be it on the liquidation side, or providing the other aspects within the framework. We'll be seeing a lot more announcement on the partnership front.
That's right. Partnerships are very important for each project, and Paxo has many investors and projects I can see. Yeah. So can you please choose a third question?
Yeah. So third question is from Willie Wilson. Do you intend to have more partnerships if partners bring offers to the table? Of course, this is one of the key areas where we are investing a lot of our time and resources to figure out what type of partnership we can build to enhance the overall value, offering not just for our users, but for our partners as well. And we will be more than open to address and engage with such partners.
Yeah. So let's move on to the fourth question.
Fourth question is again from, this is, which digital assets will be available in paxo.finance for lending and foreign? This is from Aki Boy. So this is a tough one. When we started, we thought of allowing a lot of tokens as investment options from the borrowing side. From lending pool, I think the first pool will be for USDC. So that's the stable pool we are starting with. From borrowing and investment side, users can lend USDC and buy around 12 tokens, of course, starting from BTC or a wrapped BTC to ETH and all other major coins. The idea is to have around 30 tokens available within Paxo that can be used as investment after borrowing USDC. And maybe within next month we launch, within few weeks we'll reach that number. Of course, all the major tokens will be available. We are still figuring out some of the more volatile or early growth tokens. But yeah, we'll have 12 tokens are already finalized. You will see a couple of them in the testnet or incentivized testnet as well. But in mainnet side, once we are live within a couple of weeks, we'll have around 30 tokens.
Amazing. Thank you. And let's move on to the fifth question.
This is from Zion Roy. What takes you feel confident about the survival and sustainable of your project in the near future. So we have just started. We are probably, and even in this current weather, we are, I mean, in terms of our readiness and our approach, we are very aggressive, right? So this is the time for us or all the developers to build something great. When market is, at peak, everybody is excited about this ecosystem. But our excitement today, our readiness with the technology products we are building, with the strong community we are building, and we have enough capital, we have enough means to reach a stage where market will be in a different phase. So probably we are strongest today compared to when market was in a different phase. We are building an exciting protocol. We are building awesome use cases which will be revealed in coming days once we go live. And we feel that this time for any development or tech focused company is best to build something for future. And we have enough means to, we have a couple of $1 million in our account. We have strong partnership. We have strong advisors. This is the time to build something for the next 5-10 years.
Thank you very much for answering clearly and with very patience. And it's really great that we had Paxo Finance with CryptoNite Club AMA here. And do you have anything more to share with our community members?
So I would invite everyone to explore the protocol, read our white papers, use the testnet. We'll have an incentivized program. We are planning a program where people using the testnet will be eligible for airdrop once we go live. I believe this is going to be an exciting journey. I invite all the right people who believe in the DeFi 2.0, those who believe that next 80 million users should participate in DeFi. I invite everyone to be part of this journey. Give us your feedback once you try it out. We would love to hear from you. We would love to see all of you trying and using the protocol.
That's amazing, Spirit. And users, please do not forget to join Paxo Finance, their Telegram channel and group. Also, please do follow on Twitter, Paxo Finance. And that was really amazing, great AMA. And it's an interesting project. We are really honored to have you here.
Thank you so much.